Hi everyone, it's Fitz with another edition of Deep Purple, where we take a deeper dive than I do on the regular with the daily deliveries. I hope you're watching those. I hope you're subscribing to this YouTube channel. I hope you're having fun following our coverage of Kansas State and Big 12 sports. Well, on Thursday, the Big 12 went out and released the matchups for the Big 12 basketball rotations. So now at 14 teams, you're not going to play home and away with everyone. You're still going to play 18 scheduled games. And guess what? The Big 12 has assigned basically partners. Every school has 5 home and aways with different schools. And then the other 8 are divided 4 at home and 4 away. So it's created some diversity in the scheduling. Some schools landed really tough opponents in the home and aways. Some got easier opponents. Some have tougher home schedules or easy home schedules and tough road schedules. So I took a dive into this with the help of the GoPowercat staff, and we kind of sorted out the conference. What are the easiest teams to play in the Big 12? And there aren't really easy teams. And what are the toughest? And we broke them into 5 tiers. And the tiers follow this. There's 3 bottom, 3 in the next, 3 in the next, 3 in the next, and then 2 at the very top that are the toughest opponents that you could come across in the Big 12 conference. So let's just quit messing around. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're leaving comments. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up. And here we go with the Deep Purple. I love the logo in black. I just wanted to bring that back up. I think it's really cool. But here are the 3 schools we have determined to be the easiest opponents this year, basketball-wise, men's basketball in the Big 12. So when we're rating schedules, if you play these opponents, you get 1 point for every time you play them. It's an easy way to sort it out. This is the 2-point crowd, the green crowd, Oklahoma State, Tech, and West Virginia. We move on here to the next level. It gets a little hotter here. These are the ones, if you play them, you get a 3-point on your strength of schedule. Iowa State, TCU, Cincinnati. This got really sticky. And here's the next 3, Texas, Baylor, and Kansas State. You get 4 points if you play any of these. And, of course, there's 2 elite programs in this conference, at least over the last few seasons. Houston has been there, and they seem to be ready to, take that next step now in the Big 12 and really have a much more difficult schedule. And, of course, the Kansas Jayhawks. Now, I want to point out that not all schedules are the same. Going to Kansas is different than going to Houston. So I got into some tiebreakers that aren't written down anywhere, but if you play at Kansas, your schedule's tougher, period, because it's the toughest place to play in the nation. Allen Fieldhouse makes it very difficult on everyone. But who's got the toughest home schedules? Let's take a look at that. The most difficult home schedules this upcoming season based on the rotation of teams. Now, we don't have any dates on these games. We simply have who plays where and who has the home and homes with everyone. Texas Tech comes in number 5 at the toughest home schedule in the conference. Baylor sits there next, and then above them, the Oklahoma Sooners. Remember where they're at? They get the 3rd toughest home schedule in the conference. The Kansas Jayhawks. Now, usually when a team is rated the highest, like Kansas and Houston, it's hard to have a tough schedule because you don't play yourself. But the Big 12 did Kansas no favors with their home schedule. But then again, it's at home where they handle most opponents. Welcome to the Big 12 BYU. On our calculations, the Big 12 just handed you the toughest home schedule in the conference. It'll be entertaining, but it'll be brutal. Let's take a look at the road schedules now. I thought this was really interesting because, again, the tiebreaker was always, do you play KU in Allen Fieldhouse? TCU comes at number 3 on the toughest road schedule. UCF. Welcome to the conference nights. You're going to go on the road and get bloodied up a little bit this year. Kansas State comes in at number 3 with a tough road schedule. And remember that when I get to the overall ratings of these overall schedules, home and away. Number 4 is Oklahoma State with the toughest road schedule. And there's Oklahoma. They've got an absolutely brutal road schedule this year. The Big 12 just absolutely took it to them. So, what does this mean? Again, 1 through 5 points for opponents, and in some of those opponents you played twice. So it adds up. And here are the bottom three, the three weakest overall schedules in the Big 12, according to our calculations this year. Cincinnati, Kansas State, which remember had a tough road schedule. They have, according to our calculations, the easiest home schedule in the conference this year. And then Baylor comes in that next grouping, the next four. This is the bottom half now revealed of the Big 12. According to our calculations, the toughest conference schedules. Texas comes in there. Houston parks in there. Iowa State parks in there. Another tiebreaker was always, if your away schedule is tougher than your home schedule, you can see Iowa State and Houston both add up to 51, but Iowa State has a tougher road schedule. They got the tiebreaker there. And TCU got the tiebreaker also because they have to go to Allen Fieldhouse. Onward, now we're getting into the tougher schedules overall in the conference. Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and BYU bring up the next three, and here are the next three after that. UCF is going to have a real challenge. West Virginia, Josh Eilert and company really have an uphill battle. And Kansas has a very tough schedule, but no one has as tough a schedule as Oklahoma. Now, if you're looking at the numbers there, Oklahoma's a 56. They're 2 points ahead of the next conference schedule in UCF at 54. In fact, the bottom's 49, UCF's 54, and then you jump two more numbers up to get Oklahoma. Man, did the Big 12 do a job on the Oklahoma Sooners. It is brutal what Oklahoma is going to go through this season in terms of a basketball schedule. I like how they did this, to be honest. I like how they simply revealed the opponents, where you're going and who you got at home and who are your home and aways. And you can find all of those on the Big 12 Conference, Big12Sports.com, their website, if you want to look through all of them. But I'm sure your chosen school, including Kansas State, has released those schedules for you to see. The toughest schedule in the Big 12, Oklahoma. One of the tougher road schedules is Kansas State, and yet they, by our calculations, have one of the easiest schedules in the conference. And the Big 12 decided, well, yes, Kansas, you're going to get tested, but a lot of that testing will be in Allen Fieldhouse, where, let's be honest, you win almost all of the time. Well, it's kind of a shorter Deep Purple, but lots of graphics. I spent so much time on the graphics. I hope you enjoyed it. I love this scheduling, the way the Big 12 did it, the way they revealed it. And, of course, all the dates and everything will come out at a later date as some of the programs are still finishing off their non-conference schedules, and then the Big 12 can schedule around it. And, of course, if you're Kansas State, you have a challenging non-conference schedule too, including some really interesting road games, both regionally and nationally, going to Las Vegas to play USC. And, of course, regionally, you're going to go to Nebraska, LSU, and some other fun games. Well, that's it for this Deep Purple. We hope you enjoyed it. Stick around at the GoPowercat channel on YouTube. Make sure you're following it. We continue to grow, and we're shooting for 10K by the kickoff of football. I'm Fitz, and I'll talk to you real soon.